Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Jeff Siegel, and I'm going to be leading you through some waking up morning stretches, ways to reconnect with your body, ways to let go of some tension, ways to become a little bit more present and engaged, perhaps before you launch into the rest of your workday or whatever else you might have set out for you today. So most of these practices we're going to do standing. I'm going to show you a few different stretches and movements today that are going to involve a chair. Now, depending on what kind of chair you have, if it rolls around a lot, it might not be the best object for this. So I'll show you some variations of things that you can do. My hope is that perhaps one or two of these movements feels really good for you, and that little light bulb goes off that says, hey, you know what? This is something that maybe I could or should be doing more often to help let go of tension in my body, to help bring things back to a state of balance and coherence, because that's where we want to be living from. All right. So I'm going to have you begin, all right, either by sitting up nice and tall or by standing up if you have the space to do so. Okay. And we're going to go through a series of kind of progressive relaxation techniques. Now, this is something maybe you've come across before. It just involves contracting or squeezing your muscles for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then relaxing and letting go, and enjoying that contrast between the tension and the relaxation. And we're going to move through different parts of the body together as we do this. So as always, paying attention to your own wisdom about what feels good and what doesn't. I never want you to move into pain. I never want you to do something that is going to jeopardize or injure your body. So if you go slowly and mindfully into these practices, the chance of injury is going to be a little bit less, but I trust you and your own wisdom, knowing about your body, about what's going to be appropriate for you. So we're going to begin up in our face, all right? And for 4 seconds, I want you to just squeeze the muscles in your face, tense your face, make the weirdest looking face. Don't worry, I can't see it. Just squeeze everything super tight, your cheeks tight, your eyes tight, your eyebrows and forehead tight. And then relax, let it go. And just try to wipe all of the tension off of your face. And just let your face become nice and loose and relaxed. Notice how that feels. We're going to do the same thing now with your jaw. Okay, for 4 seconds, I'm going to have you clench your jaw. So start squeezing, pulling your jaw together. All right, I want you to feel that tension up in the back. Squeeze, 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 and then relax. Letting your mouth maybe hang open a little bit, jaw just releasing. To facilitate that, I'm going to have you take 2 fingers right underneath your ears. All right, and just gently massaging into this area at the back of your jawbone. You can kind of maybe feel a little indentation behind your mandible. You can kind of just work a little bit here. All right, this is an area that often gets quite tense. Sometimes we don't know that we're clenching our mouth or holding tension in our jaw. So just giving yourself a nice little massage in any way that feels good for you as we go through here. Wonderful. All right. We're now going to come down into the throat and the neck. Now, this might feel a little bit awkward, but for a few seconds, I want you to try to squeeze the muscles in your neck, tuck your chin back as if you're trying to create some tension here, or somebody is poking you in your neck and you want to protect yourself. So squeeze up here, pull the head and chin back, and then relax. Let it go. Again, notice the contrast. We're going to move up into the shoulders. So I'm going to have you lift your shoulders, squeezing them up towards your ears, taking this nice big shrug. All right. And then ready, squeezing your shoulders up. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Let the shoulders just drop. And notice how gravity is going to naturally pull them down to your sides. Your head's going to feel kind of buoyant and rising up nice and tall. We're going to do that one more time. Same idea here. Ready? Squeezing the shoulders up. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. As you relax, take a nice exhale, sigh, let it all out. This is your chance to let go of that tension, all right, both physically and psychologically. Give yourself an opportunity now to take a couple of head rolls. So nice and gentle, just tucking your chin down. Just letting your head gently roll to the side and then coming up to the top. You don't have to go too far up and back to protect the vertebrae in your neck, and then just down the other side. And then just reverse it. I like to breathe in as I lift my head up and then exhale as I drop back down the other way. And one more time. Slow it down, enjoy, right? The goal isn't to get through this. The goal is to just experience it and let the experience, let the attention release the tension. So next we're gonna come into the muscles in our chest. So I'm gonna have you do is take your hands, you're gonna kind of squeeze your hands together. I want you to imagine you're crushing something in front of you. What that's gonna do is gonna activate all of the muscles up your arms and into your chest. So we're gonna do that for 4 seconds, and then we're gonna stretch and release. So ready, hands together. I want you to squeeze your hands, feel those arms pushing in, 3, 2, 1, and then let it go. And just notice how the sensation, notice that sense of relief that might come after you squeeze something. One more time, we're gonna go hands together, ready, and squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Just let the arms drop down by the side. Breathe. From here, let's take a couple shoulder rolls. So again, we kind of help move the muscles and the areas around where we were just tensing. Breathe in as you lift the shoulders up, exhale as you drop them back down. If you want to take a kind of one roll at a time, that feels good for you. If you want to dance, all right, it's totally up to you to just take this opportunity to tune into your body and just move it in whatever way is going to feel nice. So now we're going to squeeze the muscles in our upper back, right? And how are you going to do that? I'm going to have you take your hands out to the side like this. And I want you to imagine that you're going to pull your elbows together behind your back. So you're just going to kind of pull your elbows back. I want you to feel that pinch between your shoulder blades. We're going to squeeze your upper back for 4 seconds, and then we're going to release. So ready, arms up to the side, pull your elbows behind you, nice big chest coming forward, squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Again, any little motion that feels nice. So we're gonna do that one more time. All right, arms up to the side. Think about your shoulder blades pinching, maybe a pencil right between the middle of your back together. That's what we're going for here. Ready? And squeeze, pinch, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. This time to release that, I'm gonna have you take one arm in front of your body and just hug it into your chest. You can either hook it with your other arm or gently grab the backside and just kind of feeling that. If you want to throw a little bit of a twist in there, if that feels nice, kind of letting your body spiral to the side. Breathe in, breathe out. Go to the other arm. Reaching through the fingers. And if you notice some, snap, crackle, popping along the way, that is totally normal as you start moving joints that maybe haven't had a lot of movement. As long as there's no pain or burning or lingering discomfort, totally fine. So next we're gonna squeeze the belly. All right, so this is something that, there's a lot of baggage. We have so much baggage around our bellies and having flat tummies and never wanting our bellies to push out. And so this can bring up all sorts of emotional stuff, trying to kind of address the area of the belly. All right. So we're not trying to appear a certain way. We're not trying to suck in our gut for the photo, but we're really actually just trying to get back in tune to what's going on in our abdomen. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you, again, kind of draw your belly in as if you're going to get punched in the gut. You just want to squeeze those muscles, and then I want you to drop your ribs down. This helps shorten your abs. We just want to tense everything right here. So I want you to squeeze, roll forward a little bit. All right, hold that tension. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Take a deep breath in. I really want you to inflate your belly like a balloon and let it go. Let's try that again. So I'm going to have you kind of curl forward, squeeze your belly as if you're going to brace for impact, and hold that tension. 4, 3, 2, 1, release, and take a nice deep belly breath. From here, we're gonna move down into one of my favorite areas, but the glutes. All right. So we're gonna practice squeezing our butt cheeks together. Again, here, the best metaphor I can give you is like you gotta go to the bathroom, there's no opportunity, you're squeezing, you're holding it in, you're like, right? Those butt cheeks are clenched together. I know that's maybe a disgusting image, but that is exactly the feeling that you wanna have right now, all right? So I want you to just stand up nice and tall, all right? Hard to do if you're sitting on a chair, this one, all right? And we're gonna go 4 seconds. I just want you to clench your butt together. You might notice your hips kind of shoot forward a little bit, all right? That's totally okay. Ready? I want you to squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. You know if you're doing it right, you can feel it. You might not see anything going on here. I can feel it, all right? If you want, you can even sort of take your fingers and gently sort of push them against your butt. You know, you can feel some of that tight buns that we're going for here. Ready? Again, and squeeze and contract. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. You just feel that release. Great. And what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you actually just kind of pull one knee up towards your chest, kind of hug it out a little bit here. What we're trying to do is stretch that glute that we just squeezed. All right, if you need something to hold on to, certainly can. All right, other leg, just gently pulling it up. Stretch it out. Breathe. Okay, we're gonna go down now further into the front of the legs. All right, we're gonna try squeezing our quads. All right, and so typically the best way to do this is thinking about kind of pulling the knees back. So we're gonna basically lock the leg out, or you can actually stick the leg out in front of you, all right? So I'm gonna have you lift one foot up, out, and then I just want you to try to tense these muscles here by straightening your leg as much as you can. You might get to here, so you can get a little bit straighter. That's what we're doing, is engaging these muscles. All right, one at a time. Ready, squeeze, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And just let the leg swing and be kind of loose. Breathe. All right, one more time on that same leg, kind of sticking it out in front of you, straightening it, pull those toes up, really focus that tension here. 3, 2, 1, and let it go. We're gonna stretch that leg, all right, by pulling our foot back up towards our butt and just driving that knee down and behind us a little bit until we feel a little bit of a stretch coming into the front side of that thigh. Holding, notice the tension, notice when it dissipates, and just breathe. Wiggle that leg out, okay? We're gonna move into the other leg, tensing and relaxing this quadricep. So sticking it out just a little bit. Ready? I want you to straighten that leg, tighten that quad, pull your toes up. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, let it go. Just letting the leg be loose. Right. And round number 2, leg coming up. Ready? Squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Let that go. Again, here, if you want to take that standing stretch, trying to hook your hand around your foot, standing up nice and tall, and then just beginning to draw that knee down towards the floor as you pull your heel in towards your butt. Right? It helps to have something to stabilize you so you don't fall over, and you can really focus on getting a nice deep pull here through the front side of your leg. Breathing in, breathing out. Great. So go through just a couple more of these progressive relaxation moves. We're gonna drop all the way down into the calf area. I'm gonna readjust the camera one more time. Yeah. So the way I like to do this is simply by doing some heel lifts. We're gonna rise up onto your toes, all right? Focus on squeezing your calf as much as you can, all right? Ready? And hold, squeeze the backside. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. And just let that go, all right? Now I want you to try to do one leg at a time. So again, if you need to hold on to something, you can. All right, bracing yourself, putting that weight on one foot, other leg is just coming up like this. I want you to rise up. Ready? Squeeze one of your calves. Hold that tension for 3, 2, 1, and release. Shake it out. Go to the other side. Standing on one leg, ready, push into those toes. Feel the back side of that leg contract, squeezing those nice big muscles there down in the bottom of your lower leg. 3, 2, 1, and then relax. Shake it out. And now we want to give those muscles a nice big stretch. So 2 ways to do this. One is coming up towards a wall, all right? Standing in front of the wall, taking one foot back, and just trying to drive that heel down into the floor as you push your knees forward, right? So this is kind of a typical runner stretch for your calf and your Achilles. That's one way we can do this. Or if you have the space, you can come into a down dog position. So just setting yourself up on the floor, walking your feet back, and then trying to shift your weight into your heels, bringing your nose towards your toes as your head just falls between your arms. And this is a great way to stretch the entire backside of your body here, right? We're in this sort of A-frame position, hips nice and high. Take a breath and just find that stretch down the backside. Breathing in, breathing out. Let things relax into this position. Continue to try to lengthen the backside of your body, inching or maybe even just millimeter movements into your heels, and then walking your feet back underneath you, standing on up. Let the blood recirculate as you need to, right? So just checking in with your body right now, noticing how you feel, having gone through some of these different movements, right? Maybe there's parts of your body now that you're a little more in touch with, you didn't notice, oh yeah, I was holding all that tension in my jaw, or oh yeah, my chest actually feels a little bit more open now. We're gonna go through a couple more moves specifically for the upper body and then also for the hips, all right? Using some sort of chair or object that you can place your hands and feet on top of. So I'm gonna demo this with just this sort of dining room table or chair that I have right here. So what I'm gonna have you do, all right, since a lot of us spend so much time in front of our devices, in front of our computers, we often don't give a lot of attention to our fingers and our wrists, all right? So we're gonna give them a little bit of love right now. All right, you can even do this right on top of your desk if it's nice and steady, but I'm gonna have you walk yourself over to your chair. All right, as if you're just gonna put your hands down on your chair, this is where you're gonna start, but then I want you to twist your fingers back so they're pointing towards you. So your fingers are back, pointing towards your knees, arms nice and long, all right? You can push a little bit of weight into the chair, and then I want you to begin to rock yourself back. What we're trying to do is lengthen here, the front side, the inner part of your forearm, all right, as well as spreading those fingers out, get a nice stretch through all the different fingers that you've got, pushing into the chair. Breathe. And what you can do is if it feels good, you can kind of rock back and forth a little bit, breathing in, breathing out, all right, and just holding that nice stretch here, continuing to try to push evenly through both of your arms. And then when you feel like things have maybe loosened up a little bit, you can switch. Now you're gonna take the back sides of your palms and place them down on top of the chair. All right, now start very gently. You don't want to apply a ton of pressure here, but just a little bit. And again, depending on what kind of object you're on, it might be a hard surface, so go very evenly. I just want you to throw a little bit of pressure here into the backside. You can play around with different finger positions, rotating your hands, getting a stretch here, all right? And you can also work with some movements side to side or circles, and you can come up onto your knuckles, onto your fingers. You just want to really give the backside, now we're working the top part of your forearm, a little bit of stretch, getting that tension into the wrist, and then shake it out. Let them be floppy. All right, you can even squeeze your forearms a little bit with the opposite hand. We just want to wake up and connect with all the muscles here. All right, wiggle those fingers, open them, close them. You can even go one at a time One finger in, one finger out. Noticing how that feels for you. Good. And if you notice any tension doing any of that, what you want to do is you want to just kind of work into the muscles here as you're moving your fingers in and out, and you can begin to release some of that. It will help with all of your typing and activities that you might need to do later today. So one more nice one for the upper body with a chair is if you have a chair with a back, all right, you can also do this again with a railing, with a desk. I'm going to have you walk around. You're going to face away from the chair. You're going to reach your hands behind you, grab the top of your chair, just begin to walk yourself forward a little bit, and then come into this assisted back bend. So you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades and just let your head drop up. So you're looking at the ceiling. Your weight is supported now by the chair, right? And this can help us get a nice deep stretch all the way down the front side of the body, okay? Pulling your fingers or your pinky fingers kind of close together as you can. If this feels really like too much of a stretch for you, that's totally fine. All right, what you can do is you can kind of come one arm at a time and just work a little bit here. What we want to do is we just, again, want to create length down the front side of the body. One more move, and we're going to drop into a little bit of an assisted hip flexor stretch. So now you're going to stand in front of your chair or your object. You're going to place one foot up on top of it, okay? Standing up nice and tall. I can't see, but my foot on the floor is pointing forward. This helps square my hips so everything is in line, all right? And then what I want to do is I want to begin to shift my weight forward, trying to keep that back heel down on the ground. You begin to feel maybe a little bit of pull here through that hip flexor, which is what we're going for. All right? And then if you want, you can begin to grab something. If you have something of your chair to hold on to, you can grab your hand, or you can even let your hand come down towards the bottom of the chair. What we want to do is begin to just control and move our center of mass forward and down, trying to keep the alignment here present in the hips. And breathe, holding this position for maybe about 10, 15 seconds. As you're doing this, just recognizing, hey, what feels tight? Is this pleasant? Is this unpleasant? Is this productive? Is this helpful? Sometimes it's hard to know until you move out of the position and things all of a sudden feel way looser, way more spacious, easier for you to move. And that's what we want. We want to increase your range of motion, your mobility, so your body can move more freely, more easily, and without pain. So kind of coming out of that, that can put a lot of pressure maybe on the front knee, so you can kind of wiggle it out. We'll go to the other side, placing your foot up on top of your chair, standing up nice and tall, everything pointing forward, begin to shift forward, all right? Keeping that back heel down on the ground. Notice if this side feels different for you. If you're not feeling much of anything, then A, maybe this is not an area that you particularly need to stretch, or B, you can always deepen it, go longer by backing that back leg up, pushing that front leg forward, and opening your stance a little bit more, finding a way to position yourself down. Try to pull that back leg nice and straight. All right, push your foot into the floor, and just holding this stretch on the other side. Breathing. And you can also, a good opportunity to check in with your mind, right? For the last 30 minutes, what have you been thinking about? And perhaps the better question is, what have you not been thinking about? Right? And you've got plenty of time the rest of your day to probably think about all those other problems you need to solve. Important problems indeed. But really appreciating this quality time to be here with your body and just connect, to pay attention to what's going on, right? Somatically, internally, physically. Good. And release, letting it go. So from there, just maybe kind of taking any motions with your legs that feel good. Maybe it's a little hip circle. Maybe it's some kicks. Maybe it's just walking around the room. All right. You just want to bring your awareness back to what we just did and allow things to settle and integrate. All right. When we're stretching tissue, we're moving things around. We need to give them an opportunity to settle back into a new home, so to speak. And so that will be our stretching sessions for today. Thank you for joining. And until next time, just breathe and smile. Appreciate you being here.